The floodgates have begun to open, and there's only one thing that can be said for certain. The Kentucky Wildcats have missed their opportunity when Mitch Barnhart didn't make a move last season. What's cooking? Welcome back into another edition of Now We Can Talk Like Fans on ESPN Louisville Plus. My name is Justin Sofer, and of course I got you for the latest of all things cards, cats, bourbon, and bluegrass. Without any further ado, let's just get into the main topic of the day, of the week, maybe of the last year. And that is, of course, talking about how one Mitch Barnhart, who failed to move on from Mark Stoops last season, when it was clear and evident that the Kentucky Wildcats and the football program had better days in the past, but he didn't want to move on from his guy. He didn't want to move on, or maybe he was shackled and couldn't move on because of the piss poor contract that he decided to sign up for and pony up for one Mark Stoops. And then now we're sitting in it, and Kentucky fans are looking around, looking at the environment, looking at the situation as it continues to deteriorate and crumble, and more jobs become open. And for all intents and purposes, it is going to be hell on earth for the college coaching carousel as it moves and as it shifts and turns by the end of this winter. College coaches are dropping left and right. You just had LSU in a hysterical fashion, which the governor of Louisiana had to step in and was telling that the AD at Louisiana State University would not have the opportunity to name the next coach. He would be making sure that they make the right hire and the right move when it comes to who will be coaching the Tigers for LSU.
I believe that we're going to find a great coach. I mean, maybe we'll let President Trump pick it. He loves winners. You know, I'm not going to be picking the next coach, but I can promise you we're going to pick a coach, and we're going to make sure that that coach is successful, and we're going to make sure that he's compensated properly, and we're going to put metrics on it, because I'm tired of rewarding failure in this country and then leaving the taxpayers on the foot, to foot the bill. So, yeah, I absolutely. Who's that? No. I can tell you right now, Scott Woodward is not selecting the next coach. Hell, I'll let Donald Trump select it before I let him do it. I don't know, but the Board of Supervisors is going to come up with a committee, and they're going to go find us a coach.
Maybe that's what needs to happen. Maybe Andy Bashir needs to come knock on the door in Kentucky. Come on down to State Street. Come on down there and go meet up with Mitch Barnhart and tell Mitch Barnhart what he needs to make happen. I don't know if Andy Bashir has the same kind of, he's a little too Andy Griffith, I think, to make things happen that way. But maybe if he wants to be president, maybe it's one way that he can win over the people of Big Blue Nation, who, probably more than likely want to vote the other side. I'm just saying. Anyway, all right, one of the main things I want to talk about, though, of course, was to talk about everybody's love, everybody's desire, I guess, around the bluegrass, everybody's, somewhat of their Jeff Brom. And I'm not trying to say he's Jeff Brom, but what I'm saying is a really good coach who has a history of playing and being at your school, coaching at your school. Yeah, kind of their Jeff Brom is what I'm saying. Is John Sumrall, and talking about the opportunity that now is probably missed by the Kentucky football program. Now, I'm not saying that it can't happen. I'm not saying that it won't happen, but it seems less and less likely because all the suitors are gathering around, and he's on one of the top of the list for the top jobs in the game. John Sumrall, being a former Kentucky player, would make sense that he would love them. But he's not. The difference between a Jeff Brom and a John Sumrall is, while he may love Kentucky, he played in Kentucky, Jeff Brom was the first family of Louisville, the football royalty that had played at Louisville and generation after generation after generation. Now, John Sumrall, who's done an amazing job while coaching down at Tulane, now in the same area, LSU supposedly could be either the front runner or the favorite, or at least he is the favorite to maybe end up at LSU. At the same time, you have a list of different suitors out there. We've already had big names: Florida, Penn State, you know, if you're a football Freddy, if you will, you already know. Auburn could potentially open up. Arkansas is open up. Bobby, I don't think is going to get that job. Oklahoma State's open. UCLA and Ole Miss if Lane Kiffin decides to go to one of those programs. Let's be honest with ourselves. Lane Kiffin seems to be the ultimate option for everybody in the game, whether you're LSU, whether you're Florida, or whether you're Penn State. I don't think Penn State's got the shine to attract a Lane Kiffin. And that's where it kind of leaves me in the end. Maybe John Sumrall goes to LSU. Maybe he goes to another one of these big jobs. Maybe he ends up at Florida. Who knows? At the same time, if you're Kentucky, where does that leave you? Where do you go? Now, there's a lot of names out there. Could you do maybe one of these retreads? Do you go after Brian Kelly? How unlikable would that be? How, I don't want to say perfect, but I don't think you can really follow up a Mark Stoops with a Brian Kelly. I don't think you can really go for unlikable kind of a D-bag to the biggest unlikable D-bag in the college football world outside of Bobby Petrino. Additionally, there's other names that maybe he could be a little bit of a high-profile retread for the Kentucky Wildcats. Do they go after a James Franklin unless he finds another one of those jobs? What about Mike Gundy? Do you give him a chance? Give him some SEC money, not working with the slop that Oklahoma State and the Big 12 has going for it, or doesn't have going for it. So there's some interesting names out there. And then, of course, probably the one that makes the most sense, and the one that I wonder, while as a Louisville fan, kind of could see it happening, see it coming, would be Will Stein. What about Will Stein? Could Will Stein be the guy to resuscitate the Kentucky Wildcats program? It would be kind of poetic. It would be kind of perfect, would it not? To have a former Louisville player come in and bring back the Kentucky football program back up to where it was. Like, when did this ever happen? Oh, you mean maybe one Howard Schnellenberger, former player from the University of Kentucky, who helped create what Louisville football is today. Additionally, Will Stein being from the area, it makes a lot of sense. We'll see. There's going to be a lot of changes that happen throughout the rest of this college football season. But one thing's clear, Mitch Barnhart better get it in gear and better figure out what he's going to do. And by God, I don't think Kentucky fans can deal with one more season of Mark Stoops. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, do me a solid favor, smash the freaking like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon to stay notified. For all of our latest videos, you can follow me at Justin Sofro. Of course, you can follow ESPN Louisville and 93.9 The Ville on all the other social platforms and social media that you have out there. And of course, give me a sub over there on the Now We Can Talk Like Fans YouTube channel. Anyway, that'll do it for me. See you guys next time. Cards, Cats, Bourbon, and Bluegrass. See ya.